Welcome back. It is summer in Holland, which means it's gonna be warm for a few days and then it's gonna rain for a few weeks. And because it's warm, it's a good chance for me to test out this Nor-Tec Air Cooler. Just to be clear, it's not a mini AC unit. You will need to put cold water in it for it to work the way it's intended. It cools, humidifies and diffuses. And it also has a built-in mood light. Okay, I'm gonna open a box. I'm gonna run some tests to see if it's any good and to tell you what to expect. And I picked it up at Action and it was €9.95. Okay, let's open a box and take a look. Okay, so let's take a look what you get inside the box. Your manual, USB cable. So on the box it's saying USB charger, but as you can see it's actually USB to DC, which is technically USB, but don't go looking for micro USB or USB-C. So if you're going away and you forget your charger, then you're out of luck. And this is a unit. And for the size of it, it's very light. I'm gonna tell you the exact weight in a while. I guess that's okay. This is your filter. So that's where the water is gonna go in. And this is where it's gonna end up. Okay, I'm gonna power it up, turn it on. I'm gonna check out the lights first, and then I'm gonna look at the rest of it. Here we go. All right, so moving on, and I did test it out a little bit first because I want to be able to tell you a little bit more while I'm busy installing it. So first of all, this is where you're gonna plug your in. And the brick you will have to provide because it's not included. So let's talk about the buttons on the top. This is going to be a power button, and I'm just gonna turn it on. Then you can see the blue lights. I turn the power on, the fan is running, and it's on the lowest speed. So that's your power button. That's your fan speed. And I'm gonna do a quick little test just for you to get an idea what the sound is like. So that's one. That's two. I'll show you what the mic is. That's the mic I'm using. And this one is to control your lighting. So you have 6 colors that you can choose from. And you can also leave it on random. So it's just gonna slowly change colors. And looking at the fourth button, this one is your cool intensity button, and I will talk about it later and show it to you in action. So if you look at the build quality, you know, it's just plastic fantastic, and for €9.95, in my opinion, it's not expensive, so you shouldn't expect too much. You know, it doesn't mean it's gonna break real fast. If you're careful, maybe it will last a while, but at least you know what to expect. You know, this is it. Like I said, I tried it already, but now I'm gonna try it again and I'm gonna show you exactly what's going on. Okay, time to fill it up, and maybe you can see it. I'm gonna just pour the water. Let me just move my camera, it might get a little bit shaky. And turn it down, and you can see it falling in the tank. And like I said, this is actually the second time I'm filling it up. The first time I used water from the fridge, and that was like 7, 8, or maybe 9 degrees. And now I'm actually using ice. Oh yeah, there it is. So now it should be even cooler or even cold. And now you can see it's so cold, it's actually sweating on the outside. And let's roll the drums. So what I can say is I did try it also without water, and back then it was just a fan and it was nothing special. However, with cold water you are going to notice the difference immediately, a massive difference. And it's really cool, it's really pleasant. It's actually going to be kind of cold. And now the speeds again. So as promised, I'm going to talk about the last button, which is the cool intensity button and what it does. So when the machine is running, you're going to press it, and maybe you notice it. There's a little hissing going on. And what it's doing is it's spraying vapor into the fan, and the fan is blowing it this way. It's so fine you're not going to feel it anyway. Now and again a drop will make it past the filters, and then you feel a tiny little water drop, which is good. Otherwise your table or whatever it's on would get wet, and you don't want that. So okay, I'm going to zoom in and maybe you can see it, and then I'm going to tell you about my experience in a bedroom, and I'm going to give you my final conclusion. Okay, so there it is. So before I tell you about my experience in the bedroom, let me just check to see if it's going to work with a power bank. And my massive power bank is not in the country at the moment. So I do have a smaller one, and as you can see, it does work. So let's check out the lights in a dark room, and you can't adjust it. So it's just what it is, it's on or it's going to be off. But the lights are really soft and the LEDs are properly placed, so you know, really nice, no complaints. So let's talk about what it's like in the bedroom. And my feelings are actually kind of mixed, because it is a good blower, but it's also a screamer, and not really in a good way. So when I took it to bed, the water was in it already for like a while, and it was really cool. I had it on my foot end, and it was able to cool my feet and cool my upper body for a long time. And like I said, when the water went in the machine, it was maybe like 7, 8, 9 degrees, and you know, hours later it was probably 10 to 12 degrees, I'm guessing, and it kept me really cool. So I was really surprised at how long it went. So it should be no problem keeping you cool. What do I mean by screamer? Well, you know, I do use a fan in my room. I don't have AC. I do use a fan, a Toro fan, and it does make noise, but it's like a deeper kind of noise, which I still don't like, but that's okay. But this one, there's just this kind of windy pitch that I don't really like. You know, it's kind of like a higher frequency. So, you know, to me it's not really pleasant, and weirdly enough, when I'm downstairs it's not that bad, but when I take it upstairs I don't really know why it's so different upstairs. You know, maybe it's because the living room is much bigger, the bedroom is smaller, maybe it has to do with material, density, I'm not really sure, but it's way more noticeable. And it doesn't matter which speed you're using, it's always going to be present. And you know, it is kind of annoying. It didn't really keep me awake. I woke up, I noticed it immediately. I did fall back asleep, so at the end of the day, you could say it's not that bad because it didn't really keep you awake. But still, you know, in my opinion, it's not really that pleasant. But it's definitely not a reason not to pick it up, you know, and especially for me, because I talk about the use in a bedroom, but actually, you know, I didn't really buy it for the bedroom. I bought it because I edit on my phone, and not this one, the one I'm filming with, that's the Poco F5. And the phone is really toasty. I mean, sometimes it feels like it's gonna catch fire. Sometimes I have to put it in the fridge or even in the freezer for a few minutes before I can continue. So the idea is, you know, when I'm editing my video, I could just sit in front of it and it should keep it cool. And the cool part about it is it does work with a power bank, so I could move around, you know, if I'm sitting by the table, or I want to go in the kitchen, or even want to go outside, or if by some chance I end up in the middle of nowhere for a while, then I could also use it to, you know, keep my phone cool while I'm editing and to keep myself cool at the same time, because it is capable of keeping you cool. Of course, if you look at the box, it does say great for living room, office, kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, basement, etc., etc. It's all in the wording, because they're not saying is it going to cool a room, and in my opinion, it's not going to cool a room. You know, you can just use it in those rooms to keep yourself cool. It is possible for it to cool a room. You know, one, the room shouldn't be that big, and two, you're gonna have to be running it for a long time, and then you have to keep changing the water, you know, on a regular basis. So it's not really intended to cool a room. It will cool a small room, maybe it will drop it by 1 degree or so, but you know, you shouldn't expect too much. I did run my test using my meter, which you saw in a video before this one, I believe. And I had it in front of the machine for a long time, and it went from 25 degrees, because it was actually warm inside, it went from 25 degrees to 22 degrees, and that's where it stayed. But right in front of it was cool, but like I said, off to the side or whatever, you know, it does nothing with the temperature, so it's not really gonna bring the temperature down in the room. But if you are sitting in front of it, it's definitely gonna keep you cool. So what about the humidity when using the mist function? Well, it went from 60 to 62%, and when I moved it, it went down to 59%. So is that important to you? I don't know, but at least you know. So I actually thought the filter would be kind of wet, but it's bone dry. So, and if you do manage to put so much water in it that it does get wet, well, you're gonna have another problem, because it is gonna leak around the side. So try not to overfill it, because as you can see, it will leak. So what's my opinion? Well, I believe it's a nice little cooler, and especially if you use it the way it should be used, which is by adding cold water to it. As a fan, it's useless in my opinion, but when used with cold water, it's really good in my opinion. And I do like the lights. Keep in mind, there is no battery, so it's not rechargeable. You know, you will have to use it connected to your power supply or with a power bank. So that's something to keep in mind. I do miss a remote, but it's okay given the price. The charging cable is, in my opinion, a little bit short, so you might need an extension. And the cool feature, the cool intensity feature, well, for me personally, it doesn't really make a difference. I didn't really feel a difference. You'll just have to take my word for it. So if you can live with a little noise I mentioned early in the video, then you're all good to go. Hope this video was helpful. And if you enjoyed it, it was way too long, but if you enjoyed it, give it a like, consider subbing, and if I forgot anything, I'll pin it in the comment. But I believe that was it. So that was a unboxing and a review, my style, so hope you enjoyed it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.